Overseas now and to the UN, where South Africa has decided to take Israel to the International Criminal Justice Court. Of course, this is one of the organs of the UN. It doesn't actually have any legal official sway other than that which they've given themselves. What are they bringing before the court? Well, the evidence submitted by South Africa claims acts and omissions by Israel are, quote, genocidal in character because they are intended to bring about the destruction of a substantial part of the Palestinian national, racial and ethnical group. Dear South Africa, you've mixed up teams here. That is what Hamas is doing. They are the government in Gaza. They visited this tragedy upon their own people. They have done nothing to protect those people. In fact, they're the ones burrowing underground, using their own people as human shields, never built a single bunker for the protection of those people, for the wrath they knew they had incited. No, they're the ones safely underground in tunnels. And South Africa, also, reality check, take a long and hard look at yourself. The footage that you're about to see is president of a party called the Economic Freedom Fighters Party in South Africa. They currently have 44 seats in South African Parliament, a third of both of the houses of South African Parliament, and this is their president.
Shoot to kill, Hamas, kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa, brr, pa, pa. Attention.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, South Africa. But in other news, a council in San Francisco has decided they're calling for a ceasefire in Gaza, and a massive party ensued. Check it out. It seems to be completely lost on them. They have achieved absolutely nothing with said vote. But I think the amount of masks being worn in that one room in 2024 is indicative of the collective brains trust in said room. I mean, this just goes... It's starting to get hilarious now. We've got South Africa taking Israel to the International Criminal Justice Court. We all know how that's going to go because the UN has a very long track record of hating Israel and wishing its existence off the face of planet Earth.
And Australian Senator David Pocock today urged the Australian government to support that South African bid to have Israel tried for genocide. And his argument, Kel, was this. He said there's two reasons why Australia needs to support this bid, having Israel charged with genocide. Reason number one, he's received numerous emails from Canberrans.
Oh, wow.
Well, fancy that, fancy lefty emails from people in Canberra. And the second thing he said was because we've seen large-scale civilian deaths in Gaza. Now, I really like Senator Pocock, but large-scale civilian deaths, that's not genocide, that's called war. That typically happens when nations go to war, and even more so when a terrorist organisation such as Hamas hides behind civilians.
Exactly.
You've got to do better than that.
Exactly. And it really bothers me as a wordsmith, the way the word genocide is being cheapened. The word was coined in 1943 by a bloke named Raphael Lemkin, who was a Jewish lawyer in Poland.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Do you study up on this for the program, or do you just know stuff like this?
I've been doing this for a while. This is a really interesting story. I get fascinated by it. I'm sorry.
Keep going.
I'm like someone collecting toy trains. It's just really sad, isn't it, in the end?
Back to the story.
OK. And he coined it in 1943 in order to describe what was happening to the book that he wrote was called Axis Rule in Occupied Europe. It was about what was happening to the Jewish people. When you're using genocide, you need to be able to point to the concentration camps and to the gas gas ovens. It's a serious word. When it's applied to just what you said, it's warfare, that's what it is. When you apply it to something which is not genocide, it cheapens the word and you can't use it when it really happens.
Yeah.
So I think it's really distressing that a word like that could be tossed around, and someone like David Pocock, who is not an idiot, can say, oh yeah, I'll tick off on that.
Yeah.
And with regards to the casualties, the deaths, point that is made, Edan Gilad, who's the Israeli ambassador to the UN, made this point many months ago now. It feels like an eternity ago, because that's what the UN Council was saying to him. And he was like, if this was the 1940s,
Yes.
you guys would be on the side of the Germans. Do you understand what you're championing here? For crying out loud, I thought that was such a valid point.